Hello and welcome to the Robert Adams Goes West CD-ROM. Now this CD, as the title is the clue, gives it away, is all about the Great West, the Wild West as it once was. And it's really my interpretation, a more sort of contemporary interpretation of those days. Now I've got a lot on this CD for you, and before you say, oh, Western, I'm not sure that's for me, just take a few minutes and go through this tour, because I think you're going to find some absolutely lovely images. Now, I know lots of you struggle for cards for men and the boys, so I've really bore that in mind when making this. But just to let you know, there's something in there for you girls as well. So let's go through and show you everything that you're going to find on the CD. Now, I'll start off here with the Western images, and we get 40 of these, and it really is a lovely eclectic mix of images. So, for example, let me just click onto the horses here. And up will come the page. We can see they'll come in two sizes. We've got our A5 card, folds from an A4 to A5 and an A6. Now in this particular one we've got the decoupage, and most of the images will be decoupage, but if it can't be decoupage, it's too complicated, you'll get a nice stackopage on there as well. So just for example, let's show you here, this is part 2. And as you can see, it's going to make a really fantastic card. Now, of course, you don't have to make it as a decoupage card if you don't want to. They'll make fantastic cards on their own right here. And again, these are text editable. In this instance, we've just got happy birthday up there, but you could pop in any greetings message that you like. So if I just run through and just sort of pick out some at random, let's go to this one here. And now, see, I think this is a great card, both for the boys and the girls, as it were. We've got the horse and we've got the saddle there. It could be a Western image, or it could be someone who actually loves their horse riding. I think they'll appreciate that as well. It's quite a beautiful image. And again, you can see now that we've got the additional decoupage elements. Now on this particular card, you'll notice that the second decoupage element is actually on the page itself. It's because this one fits a little bit smaller, so it's intended to be used as a backing paper. And if not, you can just sort of fold this in half and you basically get this image on the back, which looks nice anyway. But you can then cut this one out and then use it as one of the backing papers, of which there are many beautiful ones on this CD. And just again, to just show you, this would be how our decoupage builds up. And let's just have a look here. We've got our cowboy again, the same thing. We've got our images here that can build up to create your decoupage, and we've got something here. Let's go for our Indian princess. So you can see there's a little bit of everything, and I'll just run through. We can see we've got the cowboy boots, the cactus, the buffalo, more horses here, a lovely horse one here, totem pole, lovely old saddle, Indian chief, lovely view of the mountains here and the Rockies. A girl on her horse again, a cowgirl, a lovely one here, just sort of a misty horses, cowboy. Great one for the teenagers here, cowgirl with attitude, and again our Indian princess, and we've got our rodeo rider and a lovely wagon here with horses as well. And up here, this cheeky little puppy with his sheriff hat. So that's part 1. Part 2, again, we've got horses here, lady sort of galloping through on the sunset, an old sheriff hat and badge and ephemera there, another wagon, another great one here for the cowboys, sheriff badge and spurs. And again, we have a lovely horse one here with the Indian girl riding on it, and we've got our Indian chiefs and our horses. And as you can see here, we've got something a little bit more fun. We've got the saloon doors and a number of sunset ones. So again, quite a good mix on here for you to work with. Something for the boys, something for the girls. And we say boys and girls, this is, you know, for the men out there. You struggle for cards for the men. I think you find there's a certain generation of men that just love the Westerns, and there'll be a certain generation of people that'll just love these images, you know. So I'd like to think there is something for everybody on here. And of course we've got something for the girls as well. So it covers those awkward teenagers as well. Okie dokie. So that's a quick overview of the 40 main images. Now we've got something here called the Wilder West. Now we know that a lot of gunfights at the OK Corral, that kind of thing. So this one here is a little bit more looking towards these guns, but not in an aggressive way. I think you'll find I've tried to be nice and sensitive. If we just click onto an image here, it's using the old Smith & Wesson and the Colts just to create an image, a sort of feel for that era and time. A little bit more historical in context, as we can see with this one here. Lots of the old guns, old and rusty. So it's still what I like to think within the bounds of political correctness. But I know, as I say, something like this, my kids absolutely love this card. You know, teenage boys, young boys, they're going to absolutely love it, and the dads as well. I mean, you're onto a winner with this. It's just going to be that way. And as I said, we've got a different range in this section here. We've got the sheriff, and again, we can decoupage this up if we go to part 2. So it really does make for quite a stunning card. They're all quite simple and quite nice to make as well. Again, another image here. This again, because of the way that it works, you'll use that with the backing paper if you want to, or just cut onto it. And something for those that like a little bit of flutter with the cards. Got like an old-fashioned saloon gambling there. So those are our sort of wilder Western images on there for you. Now, the West, the Iron Horse. What I've got here is sort of transport from just as that era was coming to a close. And I know many of you like steam trains, so these are American locomotives, if you want to use those terms. And you can again see these are all decoupage up quite nicely. There's a lot on there, or you can just keep it as is, and you've got your greetings as well. So we've got a range of steam locomotives here, a couple of old cars, and motorcycle here is one quite like. Something again for the boys. And if we just have a look on here, a little bit of fun, you know, happy birthday old timer out in the desert. So we're having a little bit of fun with this, a little bit more contemporary. That was probably more of a late 30s car rather than sort of 1890s. And again, we can see some fun here. So it's a great selection for those that love their trains. And you might, we've got the horse here with the car. And last but not least, this kind of in my head thought of this as transport. Well, the horse was a form of transport. So I've got the saddle in the sunset here. You know, maybe it was a dying era as the new trains came along, etc. But it's a lovely image, and I've included that one in that section. Now, moving on, we've got what I call the fun stuff. And here we've got templates for cards. Well, not really templates, because they're already done for you. Simply print, click, and craft. And we've got something like here, the cowboy boots, which again are text editable. And you can use those for the boys. We've got a set for the girls, or you could go vice versa if you want to. It really is up to you. We've got the hats here, the sheriff badge, party invites here, which will be great if you're doing sort of a cowboy themed party. And a rather nice wagon here, again text editable. This text you have to type upside down. It works the right way when it's put together. But makes for a great card, and it rocks. A little bit of a rocker card there as well. I think, again, a great fun one. We've got our wigwam you can make here, and we've got our stretch card. We've given you our Western stretch card. Again, all the lovely images on here. If I just click on, we can see. Makes for a lovely card, and you get the embellishment sheets as well. So if you want to, you can make your own, because you've got the template there as well. Okay, moving on, we've got the inserts, A5 and A6. I think there's some lovely images here. If I can just say click onto one here. It's almost a card in its own right. Again, text editable, you can type your greetings message into here. Now, there's sort of what I call landscape and landscape and portrait format cards. So what you'll notice here is that the first 10, you've got the little white box to the side. So if we just click onto one of those, as we've just seen, this is a landscape format, and the 10 after here, the cactus onwards, you can see are the portrait, or portrait in shape for the cards there. Now they're nice in general, so they'll mix and match with any of the cards on here. They're not designed specifically to work with certain cards because the images are similar. I've tried to do it in such a way that you can say click onto this and use it with any of the images. It's all there to help you just sort of create a nicer effect for your cards. Okay, and again, those come in two sizes, the A5 and the A6 as well. And we've got a range of lovely backing papers here. I've given you 40 papers, 20 full colour, 20 in a tint. And again, you can see, I mean, this image was lovely. You could shrink this down and use it for a card if you wanted to. Details of that can be found on the webpage if you want to do that, and on the help menu. And as you can see, just quickly looking through, we've got a range of textures here which will work beautifully when you matte and layer the cards if you want to do so. Again, just picking at random, you can see the selection that we've got there. So I think that's a lovely addition to the CD. The backing papers, matte and layering, are always great fun to do as a technique. Moving on, we've now got the greetings. I said these cards are text editable, but where you've got an image that perhaps is a stackopage because it's building up, what you're going to need to do is to delete the text and just make the card. And then if you click onto here, you've got a range of messages, greetings messages you can pop onto here in a variety of styles, like this old wood or cracked landscape, that can be used to create your greetings message on top of a card if it's stackopage, if you're going to work in several layers. Last but not least, a little section here. It's on all of the CDs. It's absolutely fantastic. It's tucked away here, but really quite a nice one. You've got the envelopes. Just briefly, if you want to make an envelope, let's say we're going to do an A5 card, you print out this side here. Now if you use one of the lighter backing papers, you can print that on the reverse. You print part 1, part 2, pop it together, and you have got a really quick but absolutely stunning envelope that will match in the theme of the cards that you're making. So overall, you can see there's a great deal on the CD here, and I would like to think this really is a little bit of something for everybody on here. Now I know lots of you say, Robert, I struggle for cards for the men, please help. Well, I think you'll find that there's lots of great images on here, and that should really help. And for the boys and for teenage boys as well, which can be difficult. I think you're going to find, as I said, you really are onto a winner with this CD. But, and I'm not hedging my bets here, but there's some great stuff for the girls. Horses are popular, well, with both boys and girls. But just to say that there is, you know, it's not just, oh, it's just for the men. I think if we just click back here, you're going to find that there's lots of images that you can use for both. So it just extends the life of the CD. And I know with the crafting, it's something that you want to get good value for money. And talking the extension of life, something like this, which is a timeless classic, with all these images on it, you can keep going and back in time after time. It is a timeless classic. It's one of those themes that will always be there with us. So again, I don't think you've got a CD that's sort of trendy at the moment and will be forgotten by next year. It should be one of those crafting ones that you reach for again and again to make sort of really quite special and exciting cards. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this quick walkthrough tour, and it's explained a little bit more about the rationale behind this CD, and I hope that you're going to enjoy using it as much as I've genuinely had making the CD.